And now, it's Ultimate Combat Radio with your host, Mike Stidham, on 1280 and 97.5 The Zone. Presented by Aztec Highway.
Okay, take it.
Welcome to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here, talking a little mixed martial arts. And Joe, it is Friday, the 26th day of August. The year is 2011. We're broadcasting live from the studios of 97.5 FM and 1280 AM The Zone. Of course, Ultimate Combat Radio is brought to you by Aztec Highway. Now, joining me on the program this evening, the Great White, Joe Martinez.
What's up, Mike?
Well, I'm doing great, my man. Of course,
you seem like you have a lot of energy right now.
I do. I really do. And of course, the MMA babe, Robertina.
Hi,
young lady. You got a flower in your hair, looking so good. Now we're missing the peanut butter to my jelly, the Kaiser. He's not here this evening. Brandon's feeling a little ill this evening, and I'm sure it's nothing that a ton of hugs and kisses from the lovely Monique isn't going to cure.
I don't think they've stopped either.
But he will definitely be missed tonight because there were some things that I would like to have had him present for, but is what it is. So this segment is brought to you by Ultimate Combat Training Center. If you haven't been out to the new gym in Draper, we're located right off the freeway at 2100 South State Street inside the VF Factory Outlet Mall. And, things are really going well at the gym. In fact, tomorrow we've got open mat. I'd like to invite anybody to come down between 10 and noon. And basically what that is, it's free. You come in, punch me in the face, and you can leave if you like.
And it's free, so we get a lot of people to show up.
People really enjoy punching me in the face for whatever reason. And, really, we do get a good crowd. We get a very diverse crowd on Saturday. We get a lot of guys from different gyms, and they like to come down there and do their thing. We do a little roll-in, do a little stand-up. We kind of mix it up. And Joe, you've got some new gear that you've been waiting to unveil on some of the new people.
Yes, I have. I got it from Aztec Highway. The new Punchtown gloves are awesome.
They are very cool. And you can get those right there in the Ultimate Combat Training Center Pro Shop, which is really, it's a southern part of the valley version of Aztec Highway. Now, we don't have all the cool romance highway stuff and some of the other things that go along with Aztec Highway as you know it. It's strictly the MMA stuff that we have out
and
there.
It has all the top-of-the-line gear you can get. It's a fighter's dream right there.
Well, speaking of dreams, I want to talk to Chris about getting some of those romance highway things out there.
Or just Brittany.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. Well, now, tonight's poll question, we'd like to invite you to join us on the program. Now, Robertina, let's say, hypothetically, somebody wanted to call in and participate in the show. How would they go about doing that?
They pick up the phone and call 4-5 or 670-1280 or text us 53318. Got to text in zone and then your comment, your question, your smart aleck remark. Or
they can get a hold of us on Facebook, right? How do they do that?
And we acknowledge our Facebook posts.
Now on.
From now on, starting today. Facebook.com/Ultimate Combat Radio.
All right, tonight's poll question is, now tomorrow night is, in my mind, one of the better cards that we've seen. Now, it's always deceiving because sometimes they look great on paper and they end up not being very good, but other times you have these cards that look like crap and, well, they end up being like crap, like the last Tito Ortiz fiasco. But this one I really think is going to be a good card. It features Anderson Silva versus Yushin Okami, and now that's just one of three very marquee fights, Joe.
There are three main events on this.
Right. So, what I want to invite people to call in and let us know your picks on these fights, because I hear people really speaking blasphemously saying that Anderson Silva is going to lose.
That's just crazy talk.
That is crazy talk. So I've got in front of me the odds for those fights. But, Joe, I kind of want to hear your take on, let's just talk about the main card and what do you think is going to go on there?
Okay, which one do you want to start with?
Let's talk about how much do you know about the Barboza-Pearson matchup?
Yeah, Barboza has the advantage standing and on the ground. Barboza is going to win by decision. I think it's going to be just a boring fight.
And the Vegas odds agree with that. They say 76%, that Barboza is going to win that fight. And that's interesting because we had an opportunity to interview the Pearson kid this last week. It didn't quite work out, but he seemed very, very confident. Like he was almost in superstardom already. So maybe he'll be.
I don't think anybody has him winning this fight.
All right. Well, so now let's talk about some of the main card stuff. Some of the feature fights. Brendan Schaub and Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. What do you say about that one?
All right. Now, Big Nog is healthy finally. He said that he had surgery on his hips. He's feeling healthy and he's training hard. And I actually saw a video of him. He looks really good. But I think Schaub, being younger, stronger, big KO power is going to knock him out.
Joe, I always hear about anytime somebody has a hip injury, that just reminds me of old people.
Well, this is Big Nog's 40th fight. I mean,
Wow.
he's had some battles.
So
How
he
old
is
is
an
he?
old people.
He's got to be pushing 40.
At least in MMA years, he's old. He's got 40 fights. That's a lot of fights.
I don't see him standing around too much longer. But yeah, I see. If Schaub can keep it standing, obviously, I think Schaub knocks him out.
And Vegas agrees with you there as well. They 71%. They say Brendan Schaub will come away with the victory. Now, Mauricio Hua versus Forrest Griffin. What do you say? What do you say there?
All right, now this is a rematch. Griffin beat Shogun before by rear naked choke, but I think Shogun coming out. I think he's a superior striker, and as long as he can stay away from the leg kicks because he has bad knees, keep it standing, I think Shogun beats him by decision.
I was shocked that Griffin won the first time. I really didn't think. I thought Hua was a better fighter, and I was really surprised that he pulled out a victory there. The beauty of MMA, you just never know what's going to happen. But the Vegas odds makers agree with us that Hua should win this one.
And he's fighting in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And he's coming back with revenge. He's going to win.
You know, and I don't know that people really realize how prideful the Brazilian fighters are. They really are. And this is what makes this show special. This is where MMA began. This is the birthplace of mixed martial arts. And so these guys are going back to their home country with just a lot on the line in terms of pride, in terms of, what they feel is their national sport that the dang Americans have kind of stolen and taken away from, not taken away from them, but they've really stolen the limelight from them. And I think it's huge for them, and more so than just any fight. It's big for them from a national perspective.
Yeah, I think they haven't been there. They did one back in the beginning,
Right.
13 years ago or something like that, and Jeremy Horn said that you walk into this place, it looks like it's falling apart and this and that. And there's a few people there. Now they're in the HSBC arena, huge arena, sold out crowd. Oh,
it's evolved, and and again, wouldn't have evolved had it not left Brazil. It'd probably still be in shanties like that. But this, going back to the birth country of it, it's got to be very special for these guys. Now let's talk about the main man, Anderson Silva. Now his last loss came to Okami, correct?
Yes, but it was by disqualification. Anderson Silva said
Don't try to mess with the facts here, Joe.
Anderson Silva did an illegal up kick. He wasn't sure of the rules.
You want to hear kind of something funny? Do you?
Yes.
No.
Always.
I was at the gym the other day, and I was saying that's how Silva lost. They kept saying, and that Sugarloaf doesn't know anything. They all kept arguing, no, Okami beat him last time. He's going to beat him again. And these guys don't know.
What does Sugarloaf know?
He doesn't have a radio show. It sounds like for good reason.
If you want an opinion, get your own show.
Now, he's got a face for radio, but he doesn't have the smarts for it. So, clearly, we're all picking Anderson Silva. He's 84% according to Vegas. I just don't see any way he loses this fight.
The only question about this fight is what spectacular move Anderson Silva's going to do to knock him out.
I agree. I totally agree. And if you're going to bring the sport back to its birthplace, why not have the guy who's carrying the torch right now, which is clearly Anderson Silva, clearly the best fighter in the world, pound for pound or otherwise. He's going to come back and just put on a clinic.
Yeah, you know how ridiculous he is and how innovative he is with everything. It's just going to be.
So here we are talking about three kind of mismatches as far as Vegas is concerned. Yet at the same time, we're saying, what a great card it is. Why?
I'm excited about the undercard.
Okay.
I mean, these fights are going to be awesome just because of the people, they're legends. There's a legend in every fight.
I think that's what makes it the star power.
Yeah, I mean, you have Big Nog, you have Shogun, and Anderson Silva. That's three guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. But I think what's awesome is that every fight except for one has a Brazilian in it. They're all going to be out there in front of a hometown crowd. And those undercards get pretty exciting sometimes. So I'm excited about the undercard.
I agree, and this is one of those literal border wars where along those they're protecting the home turf and so it's going to be very, very interesting. Also joining us in studio this evening is going to be Josh Vanderveer. He's going to be fighting in the upcoming Steel Fist event against Big John Kafer. Now, I'd love to speak with Josh Vanderveer right now, but he's just not here yet. Is he on his way? Do we know anything about him?
He's on his way.
Those Steel Fist fighters, man, they always leave me at the altar. This is the second guy that's.
I think it's just
they're
fighters in
fighters.
general.
All right, maybe they have a hard time doing the addresses.
Yeah,
Okay.
the coordinates, the grid.
Well, hopefully he'll be in here, and I was going to invite him to speak up during the show, but I can't do that.
Does anybody want to hear from him anyways? Come on.
Yeah, I do.
Let's bring Kafer in
I
here.
do. Kafer's a great interview, but I'd like to talk to Josh Vanderveer simply because he's been around since the early days. He's been around fighting in the Ultimate Combat since a long time ago. He's certainly evolved, and he went away for a little while, came back, different fighter. So
and he's on a roll too. He's fighting everywhere and anywhere he can.
Doing his thing. So good stuff. Now, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking to Tim Goodwin. You guys had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and he's a guy that is a regular guest on the show. I'm looking forward to talking to him because Tim is just a wealth of knowledge, and he's going to talk about nutrition and diets and how they apply to mixed martial arts. So looking forward to having that.
And we could just let him go for an hour and
He's
have the Tim
kind
Goodwin
of like
show.
Jordan Breen, just give him the microphone and let him go. And I think he did have his own radio show at one time, and it really shows.
I believe it.
Yeah, he knows what he's
He
doing.
really knows what he's talking about when it comes to athletes, and he's not just a regular doctor. You know, he really tells you what to do to keep yourself healthy, and it's interesting to listen to him.
I see him 3 times a week, and I don't get tired of hearing him. You know what I mean? He gives me so much great advice, so it's awesome. Now, something that's on the minds of many of us around here. It's kind of a big story. It's a follow-up from last week, however. 1280 The Zone's very own Jan Jorgensen failed his drug test for the Street Queens event. Is that what it was?
Yes.
And, as you know, he's a personality on the station here and a former BYU football team captain and all-around great guy. We've been trying to get a hold of him today to kind of find out what the status of that was. And I don't know that anybody's heard. Have you guys heard anything?
Yeah, on fightingoutof.net, he put a post about that he went and got his blood test the following day and did a urine test again, came back under the levels or whatever that's allowed for opiates. So it is clean. The commission has to review it. They were going to review it this Tuesday, I think was the...
Well, I think that's what's the interesting part here, because I was at the athletic commission meeting, and they said they were going to go into a closed session to talk about it, which is understandable. Anytime you're going to take any action against somebody or something like that, or something controversial might be, they take the public out of the room and they have a closed session. But the promoter from Mayhem, what is that?
Total Mayhem?
Yeah, Total Mayhem. He asked, would Jan be available to fight anytime soon? And he was told that no, he would not be.
Huh.
And so I don't know what that means. And now I voiced my opinion last week about my opinion on suspending a guy for testing positive for a substance that's not banned. If a poppy seed bagel can cause a positive result for opiates, then either ban the consumption of poppy seeds or get a more accurate test, or get rid of the rule altogether, because poppy seeds is something that is commonly consumed in our society. And so, if your test is given a false positive, I don't think that they should be taking a guy out of being able to. Well, the problem here is Jan doesn't. If I'm not mistaken, he fights at an amateur level, so they're not taking away his right to make his living. But at the same time, he's being taken away his right to pursue his pro fight. It would have been his pro fight. Okay, all right. Well, I'm being told in my ear here that this was going to be his first pro fight. So they're taking away his right to pursue his career in fighting.
And somebody who has a real future in it, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, he hasn't fought anybody tough yet, so it's hard to really say. But he's a physical athlete. He played at the top level at BYU. He was a team captain. So you can see he's got the athleticism, he's got the body, and he's training at a quality camp. To me, the athletic commission has got to kind of tread on some thin water here, because I cited some instances last week of some people that lost their jobs in law enforcement or had gone sent to jail because of dirty tests, and they were by mistake because they had consumed poppy seeds as well, and if Jan Jorgensen decides to, he could sue these guys, and especially in light of the fact if he did take another test and he was below the levels the following day, that tells me you don't have a problem.
Yeah, and I read another article that like the Army or military, they have certain levels that you can be at in opiates just for that, because of so many problems that they've had in the past.
See, I wasn't aware of that. And I don't know that the commission has levels either. And again,
they just barely got to the urine
test.
They're
kind of black and white on things. So there should be some common sense application to these things.
Especially when Jan said, he picked up a muffin because he wanted a fast digesting carb. It could happen to any fighter, and he still had the wrapper in his bag, and he showed it to him.
How about this thought? Let the doctor take a look at him and see if he's showing any signs of impairment. What about that?
Yeah.
How hard would it be for the commission to get more accurate testing?
How hard would it be for them to do anything? Say it again.
I have his results right here.
Oh, man, we got this. Why don't you fill us in, Will? What do you got?
Okay, so Jan posts his results actually on his Facebook page.
Okay.
For the blood screen, they tested for 7 drugs, all of which he came back negative for. Methamphetamines, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, cocaine, cannabinoids, opiates. So everything that he was tested for on his blood test, he came back negative for.
So he's not out. He's not going to the rave tonight.
That's the last place you'll find Jan Jorgensen.
Okay, well, I kind of figured that, and that's why I think this is such a news topic. I don't want to keep putting it out there that Jan Jorgensen tested dirty. I want to put it out there that, you know what?
The commission messed up.
Well, yes, I think there's a flaw in the system, and we've got to fix it. It's got to be addressed because good guys are being adversely affected by it. Daniel Grass didn't get a fight because he smoked weed. We get it. Okay, cool, man. You did your jobs, commission. You came in, you saw, you kicked some ass, whatever you had to do. But when people are being taken away from their fight, and to be honest with you, there were hundreds of people there to watch Jan Jorgensen fight the other night.
I know we had to put out a public apology for everybody that came out and paid good money to come watch him fight.
I can only imagine what he was feeling because he is a guy of ethics and that kind of stuff.
Mr. BYU himself.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the biggest story. Well, in fact, we're gonna tease that. We're gonna hold that from you because by far the biggest news story of the week coming up later on the program in the Colbert Report. You've got to stick around for that. But certainly the most positive story on the local front. Super Steve Seiler making the tough show. And Steve will be joining us on the program this evening to discuss just that. Now, Steve had 12 fights in the UCE, had a great career, racking up 7 of his 17 wins with us. He's actually coming off a recent loss, but made it on to perhaps the biggest stage for fighters at this level. I'm super excited for him, and I can't wait to talk to him. In fact, we're going to do that when we come back.